Congratulations. This is all. I'm fucking out of it, dude. I'm so fucking lost.
It's okay. You had COVID, dude. Congratulations, everybody. You've unlocked this episode of All Apologies. I'm Joe Sixpack, and with you, as always, is my co-host, Trucker Andy.
Yeah,
Andy, how are you doing today?
Dude, I bet I played this charity event thing at noon, and I've been drinking since noon on the heels of having COVID all week. So I'm very out of sorts. And I want to thank you at the top of the show for basically putting together the whole show. But we've got a couple of things that we want to cover. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that
Andy, don't forget to tell everybody. Go to allapologiespodcast.com. This is usually my part.
I know.
Go to the website, find our Patreon, all of our links. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. Kia Boys content over on Patreon, exclusive stuff. Andy and I just solved the Marvel universe. That'll come out someplace. We also fix the Secret Service. You may never hear that content. But anyway, Let's get into something else. Well, before we dive into our topics today, Andy, do you have any other? DabbleCon 2 coming up. We'll be at DabbleCon 2 at Comedy at the Carlson, August
16th and 17th. 16th is the roast of the Dabbleverse, where you're going to get a lot of the stand-up comedians, people such as Reverend Bob Levy, people like Vinnie Paulino and Patrick Melton, Anthony Cumia,
Tukey, TWO.
And they're going to be taking down the Dabbleverse on the 16th. And then on the 17th, you're going to get all of the podcast events, Uncle Rico, Tukey Soup, WATP. And then after that, also on the 17th, is going to be the Dabby Awards, where we're going to spotlight all of Stuttering John's shenanigans and decide which are the best of the worst. So that is coming up in less than a month now. So,
and I'm going to get so drunk that I'll make the mistake of singing karaoke.
Yeah, sing Glory Days. All right, okay. But in the meantime, we had some things come up. It's getting tricky now because we're covering things that are happening, within this week. But then this episode's probably not going to come out for 2 weeks, so this might be old news. But Tenacious D has fallen apart.
It's never too late to talk about the D, Andy.
Yeah, it's almost like it outlived itself. LIB. They outlived each other because.
Well, let's get into it before we tackle all of this, because I have many opinions on all of it. Okay, so let's just start by saying that Tenacious D was on a Australian tour. I don't know how big they were in Australia is when this happened.
Right, Ed and I were talking about it a little bit, and I think that this. We're talking about where the line is and where you cross the line. And what I said to Ed was the line is somewhere between the United States and Australia, because he probably would not have said that in front of a U.S. audience this close to the incident. Would you agree with that?
I think it definitely makes it a lot easier to say something like this. Well, let's get into, we'll hear the response from the audience. You'll see, let's watch how it all goes down. Okay. Let's jump into the clips before we start hypothesizing. Let's look at video evidence of what happened here. Okay. So clip 1, the D were performing on an Australian tour, and here's the incident.
Don't miss Trump next time.
Raucous applause. Everyone loved it. Oh, maybe the backup band they didn't say. So, Andy, comedy is hard, and I like Rage Cage, right? I think he was saying that you missed Trump's last rally. You should catch the next one. Catch his rally. Don't miss Trump next time. Next time Trump comes to your town, you should attend the event.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost the last one ever. So if you ever get a chance, don't miss it.
Yeah. Don't miss Trump next time. Next time he's around, go see him. All right. So,
and just take note of how distraught Jack Black is.
That is my next setup. Exactly. So Jack Black was apparently very upset by this comment. So let's see his reaction here.
He storms off stage, right?
Yeah, he says, "Fuck you, Rage Cage. This band is over."
Is that odorous or Rungus?
Yeah, they had Guar opened a bakery. Look how upset Jack Black is. He can't even collect himself.
The audience is booing.
He's trying to deflect all of the anti-Trump vibes with some type of helmet.
Jack Black he's putting on a dunce cap to illustrate how dumbfounded he was by Kyle Gass comments about president.
Andy, I thought that he was going to walk off stage, and he was so disgusted with the love or hate of Trump. I don't know. I still can't tell, but the audience supported Kyle, and it appears that Jack Black, against every fiber of his being, decided to carry on with the concert. What a professional. And they all lived happily ever after, right?
It's all he could do to keep it together. Put on a good show for the people of Australia.
Yeah, so they finished that show, and they're still touring, right? Clip 3.
Well, Jack Black has announced that he feels it is inappropriate to continue the rock duo's tour. He said on Instagram last night, "I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it's appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold." Kyle Gass apologised for the joke on Instagram. "The line I improvised Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence in any kind, in any form, against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment."
Mm-hmm.
Jack Black being shown wearing his dark Brandon shirt in the beginning of that clip. I think we all know what side he's on.
Yeah, then Jack Black Jumanji'd into a liberal blonde woman and cast his vote. Right. So people forget that a normie did lose his life in the shooting. Right? It's bumfuck middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. They canceled the Pinochle tournament. So this guy had nothing better to do than drag his entire family to a political rally on a scorching hot day. I mean, this could have been any of us. Who among us doesn't like to get all riled up in extreme political discourse and propaganda, I guess, Jables and KG just forgot what it's like to be a regular jag-off.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, the people that did it, because I've seen people on X going, Trump took a bullet for he didn't take a bullet. He dodged a bullet. There's a difference between taking a bullet and dodging.
He did nothing.
This guy,
the guy missed. He did nothing.
Yeah, he got lucky. Is what happened. And nobody wanted to. If you're a person that's running to their keyboard to wish that the hit had been successful, you're a complete asshole. Nobody should be rooting for that. I don't care. I don't care what your beliefs are. You wouldn't feel good if it had gone that way. People would not be glad. It would look bad for the whole country. It would look bad for the left. It would be a tragedy for the right. It would be a bad look. So don't run to your keyboard and say, I wish that the shooter had finished the job. It's an insane thing to say.
It's despicable. It's no way to
win an election.
Yeah, this is it's politics, and the eliminating one. Cutting off one head of the Hydra is not going to change anything. That office is irrelevant anyway. They're not the actual people who are running. Andy, did you see that thing? I don't know if it's like social media propaganda. Everything is that BlackRock or Blackstone bought Ancestry.com for $4.7 million. So now anybody who provided your DNA to Ancestry.com, it's all been purchased. So, my information, my email might be out in the world. Somebody knows my phone number or my address. You doxed me? No, these stupid motherfuckers gave their DNA to one of the shadiest fucking companies that ever existed. Yeah. It's all downhill.
You're volunteering that information every time you log into Truth Social and say what a great time you had in Pennsylvania. It's like they don't need to steal it. You're handing it over.
I said, don't worry. Say the government got your DNA when you licked the envelope to send your Christmas list to Santa Claus way back when, and then provided it to a federal agency. They got your DNA. Don't worry, everyone. It's no problem.
Yeah,
they have all your information.
I don't know when did Tenacious D go wrong, Joe? Because everybody used to like it, you know.
Nothing. Not even this isn't even wrong. They should have just. You know what it is? Fuck Jack Black for not standing by Rage Cage. Okay, it's just a joke, and we talk about it all the time. It may have been a bad joke. It may have been in bad taste. The ghost of fucking Gilbert Gottfried is spinning around in his fucking grave right now because it was just a joke. All right, maybe he does feel that way or whatever. It's just a joke. And to completely cancel their tour, for Jack Black to just essentially about face on Kyle Gass, I find to be gross, basically.
Yeah.
So support your boy.
It's the same thing with Sarah Silverman, I guess, when she was in Wreck-It Ralph and suddenly she has Disney princess money. As soon as Jack Black did Kung Fu Panda 2, he had something to lose, and he has to cover his ass, and he has to turn his back on his boy, and now everything has to be more serious than a dick and fart and bong hit joke.
Right, but you can sing "Fuck Her Gently" every night, but if you say, you don't like Trump, then you have to cancel the whole fucking tour.
Yeah. I guess I just wanted to be a fly on the wall for the call from the publicist who said, they're going to shelve Jumanji 3 unless you leave Tenacious D because of what KG said in Australia.
I don't even get it. Like liberal Hollywood, they're fucking right behind him. He's wearing a Biden shirt, for fuck's sake.
They're like both libs. Cage went like too lib for another guy who's super lib. What are we talking about?
I'm lib, but I'm not that lib.
Yeah, you outlived me, Cage. My dark branded shirt won't stand for it.
Also, who gives a fuck? I don't like Kyle or Jack Black or Tenacious D or anything less, any more or less than I did before this incident. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and nobody's upset that the band's over.
It's not. I don't even believe. Well, they'll just by the time they
go away for a while.
By the time they wait to bring it back, they'll all be, the two of them will just be fucking decrepit anyway. It's like Cage did them a favor. They're like, we don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Enough politics, Joe. Nobody cares what we think about this.
Yeah, let's get into
actively disagree.
Let's get into another on-stage humiliation.
Yeah.
Here's other ways that you can ruin your career publicly.
Right.
So,
we covered this on a mini episode, I believe. So
why are you doing it, bro?
Yeah. So
to reset it, at one point, comedian Adam Sandler hanger-on Nick Swardson did an appearance in Colorado, in Beaver Creek, Colorado, where he claims that he took an edible that was maybe too strong for the high elevation.
Why are you saying he claims to? You think that it might have been other drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, it's not like I never took an edible that was too strong and it caused me to be non-functioning. I went to see Steel Panther with Carl at a casino, and I hadn't. This was back when I was still driving truck, and I was not smoking or using THC, but I wanted to lose my job because I hated it so much. So I didn't give a shit. And I said, I'm going to fucking take an edible and enjoy this show. And I'm pretty sure it was like somewhere in the realm of a 25 milligram. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a aggressive way to get back into the game.
Oh, yeah. Because what happened was I went and found my seat for the show half an hour before the opening act was even going to go on, and I could not leave my seat. I was just staring at a stage with nothing on it for 30 minutes before somebody came and found me and brought me up to where the rest of the group was, and I proceeded to barely hold myself up on the bar before I found a seat and slept through most of the show. After the fact, it was right around Christmas time, and they're like, oh, wasn't that great when they brought out all the girl Santas and one of the Santas took her top off and showed her tits? And I was like, I totally missed. I slept right through it. So I pulled a Nick Swardson at Steel Panther. So
yeah, the lightweights that I know will get like a 10 milligram gummy and cut it into 4 pieces, and they're just like, I just want to like change the vibrations or whatever. And he's like, whatever. These are I've had Sour Patch Kids before. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I've had Warheads. This is like that, right? Okay. So yeah, Nick Swardson, a couple, the beginning of the year? This wasn't that long ago. Yeah, this was like the first night. Well, they'll explain all of it. But so
it was on Theo Vaughn.
This all happened. So he was on Theo Vaughn's show, and it comes back up because this is like kind of how legends are made. If you don't know, comedians love when fellow comedians embarrass themselves on stage. So Theo Vaughn wants to talk about it. So here is Theo Vaughn saw a video, but he has questions. These guys will explain it for me.
Well, I saw the video you had about the drink where you got just what happened with the video? It was in Colorado, right?
Yeah, it was like the start of my whole spring tour, and it was like club dates to get ready for Toilet Head again this fall. NickSwardson.net. Toilet Head.
Right. I like, disclaimer before, I like Nick Swardson. I like the juvenile, how juvenile he is. I even when he's bad, he's like fucking frozen pizza, right? Even I'll eat it even if it sucks. So
I like that the width of his head is the same as the width of his neck. It's just head goes straight into his shirt.
Yeah.
Very odd build, yeah. Nick Swardson. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're touring, and usually these sets are like recorded multiple times and cobbled together, right? You know, the guy, the person will wear like the same thing every night or something, and they do multiple times or whatever, you know, together to get it what they want. So I'm with you here. And then Andy, where's the Kill Bill drop? Okay. Nick explains to Theo how drugs work here.
So, yeah, I took an edible 9,000 feet.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. And it was like, the shows were great after that, but it was like, yeah, it was like full brain fart. And I've rarely had that outside of New Orleans where I vomited and threw it into my hand. But yeah, it was just like a full brain fart. And I was on stage. I was like, oh my God. And the edible hit me. And I was like, fuck. I'm like on stage, you know what I mean? Like when you're live and you're like, oh, yeah, here we go. And I was like, just high as fuck and balls.
High as fuck and balls? Jesus Christ, that is high. But it all worked out, right?
I was high as a doorknob. He said, here we go. We should have reset maybe some of the video. But he was trying to do a Jason Statham in the Beekeeper impression.
I've been failing to finish the Beekeeper this whole weekend. I keep putting it on and falling asleep and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just like, here we go. Jason Statham in The Beekeeper. Here we go. Here we go.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought it was a masterpiece.
Did you?
One of the worst movies I've ever had.
Our mom, who loves everything, was just like, it was a piece of shit.
It was. I haven't heard anything about it other than Nick Swardson's attempt at an impression.
His impression is better than the movie.
Well, I'm watching it and I'm like, this lore that they're trying to establish is just not landing, like protecting the hive. So just be a drone in the fucking overall, fabric of society, just be a Kia boy living in the Kia boy world, and Jason Statham will take care of you. Like, what is this message? I didn't get it.
I refuse to watch it.
I keep falling asleep watching it.
You're better
anyway.
off.
So here's a great idea. Let's watch Nick watch himself embarrassing himself.
But it was so blown out of proportion. It's like, it wasn't like a disaster.
Well, people were yelling, play like,
oh, really?
A lot of people disagree.
Are you sure about that?
What are you saying right now?
What are you saying right now?
It's a weighted question.
No, you can't. You're not missing anything, anybody. You can't really hear it.
Oh, what?
Okay, I'll take a joke.
Okay. So
nothing happens.
Andy, doing crowd work when you're the one who's fucking wasted embarrassment is the opposite of how that should go. Usually the comedian is the sharp one taking down drunk hecklers, okay? It's not the other way around. If the audience is fucking in control of the show, you've done something really wrong here.
You don't turn to the audience and go, what am I doing up here?
Hey, what joke would you like to hear tonight, sir?
Who are you here to see? Oh,
yeah.
me? Maybe I should be entertaining up here.
All right. So in this clip, Nick explains how he was a pioneer and an originator.
All right, here we go.
And somebody yelled too, and that was
it's like the crowd is so belligerent.
Anybody here have kids? What the hell?
Oh my god!
Just yelling at people. You can't hear it. It doesn't matter.
Apologies to Beaver Creek. I'm not proud of like that. But
the apology.
I was so fucking high. I was like,
what do you say to the people of Beaver Creek who, first of all, they legalized marijuana there?
Yeah. By the way, I'm not the first person to get high in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like.
Right.
Yeah, but you are the first person that tried to jump on stage and not forget your whole act.
Right? It's just like, yeah, I'm not the first person to get high in Colorado, you British cigarette. No, but you are the first person to be paid handsomely to fail at your job in front of a large crowd. Yeah. Probably not, but save the drugs for after your performance, like a fucking professional, right?
You espresso martini.
Okay, in clip 5 here, I believe Theo Vaughn is sober, which is why like having Nick try and explain this to Theo is like kind of absurd. And it's not like Theo's never done drugs before, but I think he was like a cokehead way back when. So I just find it really odd how like his questions like seem like he knows nothing about any doing drugs ever.
What does it feel like to be on drugs?
The other stupid thing is like the video that was recommended to me right after this was him talking to Andrew Santino about seeing Dead & Company at the Sphere. So whatever, that vibe or experience is completely different, but it's just like, I don't know. Theo Vaughn is weird to me. Like, I think he's an interesting guy, but the show and the comedy is just like off for me. But so I think he's sober, so he's going to put it in his terms.
That's not. I'm not fucking.
So what do you say to those people? Because that's a double-edged sword, right? If you invite me over to Chocolate Town or whatever, right?
Right.
And I show up and I end up getting diabetes or whatever, or like black lung, whatever you get from eating too
like
much chocolate.
Willy Wonka invites you to the chocolate factory.
Right.
And he's like, suck my chocolate dick. And then you have diabetes.
Right. The people.
And it's on camera.
Yeah, sucking Willy Wonka's dick on camera. I think Gene Wilder would come back from the dead to play that role.
These two do not know how to improvise.
No, God, no.
Theo Von, my take on Theo Von is that he is a friendly, nice hang. He's not a good interviewer. He is not smart. He is not that funny. I think that he would be fun to have at a party, but he's not good at doing a show. He's not good at, I don't know. I tried to watch his stand-up special, and all his jokes were just like, "Can you believe I wore this shirt?" It was like Schaub level. Like, look at my haircut. Don't I look like a lesbian? Well, you cut your hair like that so you can make that joke. You wore that shirt so you can make that joke. That's not fucking.
I punished myself watching that stupid Hannah Berner comedy show, and she comes out and does the fucking worm right off the bat, and she's like, "Can you fucking believe I did the worm? You did that. You're the one that embarrassed yourself doing that. I don't know what we're supposed to do." Also, black lung from eating too much candy. Like, I don't think Theo Von knows how the human body works, how diabetes works, how the mining industry in lower Pennsylvania and West Virginia works. Like, Theo is way out of his fucking depth here.
He doesn't know how chocolate works, how blowjobs work. None of that made any sense, Theo.
My next clip I called "The Hypocrisy."
Yeah, it's on camera. But the people in the town have some responsibility. The people that built the factory and let you have as much chocolate as you want.
Yeah, they're making it. They're sitting there making it. And then they Judge Judy you. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's what
you Wonka people. Fucking bonkers. Fucking Tard Nation. So, no, but my apologies to Beaver Creek. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Well, it's a beautiful area too.
Yeah. So if you can't see, Nick thinks that the process of making chocolate is the same as a double-fisted hand job with a twist. Yeah. The only thing he left out was the spit on that thing, and you feel me?
Yeah.
All he left out of it.
He's giving a pepper mill hand job to Willy Wonka. You're leaving out the part where you were hired to do a comedy show. Nobody is upset that you got high. They're upset that you were not funny while you were high.
Yeah, Big J smokes fucking nonstop. Like, he still does his job and is funny. Nobody's saying don't get high and go on stage, but they are saying fulfill your obligation and be a professional.
Yeah. Wade Boggs can drink all the beer he wants if he shows up and fucking hits a home run.
Yeah. So here Nick describes my life story.
And where were you at? You guys were in a theater there.
Yeah, it was a theater.
You're performing. You go out there. Did you know before you went out there that you were like, I should not go out there right now?
No, I was totally fine. But like, again, like the edible hit me right when I was in the middle of my set. And it was a new set. So it's like, again, it's actually really great. Toilet Head this fall. It's a solid endorsement. But I was like, oh, God. And it's like, if anybody's taking an edible, especially if you're in altitude like 9,000 feet, even if you're stone sober, it's like aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, it hits you stone sober. But I took an edible with a couple cocktails and I was like, oh no. And I'm like, God, here we go.
Yeah. Or if you're me, you're just going to a movie theater and you like hit a vape real hard and stood up too quickly. But
spent the rest of the day in the hospital
for no reason. You know what? If the scenario is I'm just super high, you don't have to go to the hospital.
This doctor comes in and puts a stethoscope on your head and he's just like, yeah, you're a fucking burnout. Get out of here.
Yeah, but once you're that far deep, you don't go, oh, I was high. You just lie to the doctors the entire time. You're like, I don't even know why this would happen to me. It's a total mystery. Yeah. Could we get Gregory House in here and Quincy to figure this out, because it's a total medical mystery on why this happened to me.
I'd rather
just got like really fucked up.
I'd rather have my insurance company pay for an ambulance ride than admit that I'm a lightweight.
Yeah. I've never been to Colorado, but I'm a well-documented practitioner of being a lightweight and taking things way too far, way too fast. If this has never happened to you, congratulations. You're lame as fuck. Okay. In this clip, I can't help but wonder what the great Vinnie Paulino would do in a scenario like this.
And I remember the venue went to Ari and they were like, we're going to pull Nick. And Ari was like, at my back, he's like, don't do that. Nick will figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, he'll figure it out. It's not his first rodeo. And they were like, nope. And they pulled me.
Yeah, because they cut the mic at one point. So then you're just talking. They can't even hear.
Yeah, I was like, oh, all right. Chelsea's on the I was like,
it's like his rendition of the outfield there. What?
But it's not like they didn't give him a chance. They gave him multiple chances to get on track. And how long? It was at least 3 to 5 minutes, right? More.
The raw footage of it goes on for maybe it's like Jason Statham, the beekeeper. Here we go. It's that for a very long time. I mean, watch our mini episode. There's plenty of it in there. We cover the event, the incident.
Enough time for people to lose patience and stand up and
people
leave.
Are walking out.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
like over 10 minutes.
Yeah. So I think if you follow stand up at all, you know that publicly bombing like this is in a high profile situation is one of the most enjoyable things another comedian can witness. Right. So Nick's opener, the Ari, they said Ari's there and he has Nick's back and he's like, probably also stifling guffaws as he defends Nick saying, Nick's got it. He does this, all the time. And just let him go. He's got it.
He wants to see if he can set the world record for longest bomb.
Or the day the lab, the Andrew Dice Clay thing, where it's just like, I'm staying on stage until everyone walks out, right? So this is already legend, really, and a security blanket for any comedian. Well, at least I didn't Swardson it. That will be said for the end of time now, basically. So in my next clip, Theo hasn't touched drugs in forever, so he has no idea what's happening.
The fuck?
Were people yell like what were?
I don't know, because
obviously I wasn't blacked out.
I wasn't blacked out. I was just like,
from edibles.
I didn't have my set.
No, you're seeing fucking.
People like
you're like whoa!
In the crowd. I'm like,
you're not blacked out. I wish I was blacked out.
Going because they pulled me.
I
think they were like, what the fuck? Why is Nick getting pulled? But I think it was half and half.
Yeah, because some people start yelling, "Get this F got" or whatever off the stage.
You can say Fagorni waiver.
Yeah, get this
espresso martini.
Faganica.
Yeah, get this.
Here's more terrible improv.
Hey, somebody yelled that off, actually, which I thought was cute.
Yeah. So save the improv for the talented people, guys. For the very talented folks that specialize in improv. Okay. Nick thinks they pulled him off stage because they're all booing because they're so jealous of me.
Well, the other thing is you have to explain to Theo Vaughn what it's like to bomb, because Theo has never bombed. He thinks that everything that he's ever done has been good. So he doesn't even understand what bombing is. He didn't even know what he was because he always does. He sucks.
Theo Vaughn, I think, maybe was like the precursor to, like, say, a Matt Rife, right? Like he rose to power via MTV Road Rules is where like he like gained some notoriety.
So and then what's his name's husband? Your mom's house, Christina.
Yeah,
she's from Road Rules too. So I don't know where these people get off thinking that they should get into comedy, but you're right. And he's comes from the Bert Kreischer school. And I remember I was thinking about this the other day when I first learned about who Bert Kreischer was and why he sucks. And it was during COVID when everybody was trying to do gigs where they were just standing in a parking lot and everybody's watching from their cars honking the horn. And across the board, every comedian that's worth anything said that that's the worst version of putting on a show. It was awful. Nobody should be doing it. It sucks, but we got to do what we got to do. Bert Kreischer's like, oh my God, it was the greatest. I love it. I was like, what? Everybody says this is horrible. You're the one guy going, oh yeah, I'm cleaning up. Everybody loves it when I go running around a parking lot with my shirt off. And I was like, oh, this guy is a hack piece of shit. And right after that, I was just Theo Von arrived on the scene, and I was like, no.
Theo Von is still now. He's still sporting a mullet, like even though like everyone wears a mullet now. Like he was ahead of the curve on the mullet. He was doing it in an ironic way back when. Then Patrick Mahomes came along and made it cool, and now he's still wearing it because it's now the cool thing. I don't know. He needs to abandon it very quickly. If I'm going to watch a fucking COVID set, it's going to be Norm Macdonald's fucking COVID set. Okay. That if you want to know what comedy was like during COVID, watch Norm Macdonald's final fucking set, because he was fucking denied his legacy. We were supposed to get that as true stand-up, and he was forced to deliver it essentially on his deathbed.
Yeah. To a Zoom meeting.
Much more brilliant than any of this fucking nonsense. Yeah. Anyway, now I'm all upset. Now I'm upset, Andy.
All this is to say that I don't dislike Theo Von. I don't think that comedy is his thing. Is this conversation where you're explaining things to a man-child that doesn't understand things it's an endearing format for a show that I think he is good at. I think that's why people like him on this. I think he has a charm to him. I just don't think that his comedy is for me.
I'll sum up. This is just coming to me right now. I'll sum up Theo Von for you. This is what once again, I don't love his comedy, but I think he's like an interesting person. Here's my impression, or this is just like the essence of Theo Von. I bet mustard on ice cream would be good. He's like a child. Yeah. Like it's just like, I'll put spicy mustard on strawberry ice cream. What's that like?
Yeah,
that's everything. That's everything he does. It's just like, but it sounds disgusting. Yeah, but let's think about it.
Let's try all the gross flavored jelly beans from the Harry Potter.
You know what it is? It's like he's like a more endearing. Like he's what Chris D'Elia like kind of should be, or like they're like in the same. They're functioning on the same vibration or whatever. Everything's about crystals and vibration, and they're on the same one, but at the different end of like the same fucking stupid vibration.
You would still rather hang out with Theo Von than Brendan Schaub. Theo Von was right.
Who?
Brendan Schaub.
Yeah,
they used to do a show together.
What? Oh, right. He ran away. Yeah, smart. That's why he's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah,
so he was right about doing that. We'll give him that.
Smartest thing he ever did, for sure. Yeah. Leave that to Eric Griffin.
When you got backstage, what was it like? What did the management say to you or something?
They were like, yeah, so, yeah. And I was like, yeah, what? All right. Okay. That happened.
Oh, yeah. I hate it when people don't even know what to say.
Yeah, they were like, suck you? Like, it was just ambiguous. I was like, what the fuck?
That clip sums up this show for me.
So, what do you say to a blithering drug addict that breached their contract and damaged the reputation of the venue, essentially stole money from anyone who attended it, created a much bigger problem than was necessary? Like, the only thing they didn't say was, oh, we're going to need you to call Adam Sandler and have him cover all of the fucking expenses for this. Suck you. Or like, some of the improv was bad, but some of it I liked. You know, once again, I I won't absorb Theo Von, but I won't deny that sometimes like he'll pop up. I actively skip anything. Like I refuse to let him dominate my social media algorithm, because he would if he could. People like post this shit constantly. I'm not here for it, but
and to Nick's credit, he can be funny. Like I
Nick's
do
funny.
enjoy Nick Swardson. He just dropped the ball in this one particular instance, and I just don't understand Theo's country bumpkin take on trying to understand. Like, what don't you understand about what played out here? He's playing dumb, right? Is that his whole thing?
Yeah.
Just playing dumb?
I would say yes. I think
Okay.
he has that slack-jawed yokel vibe, and he just leans right into it.
And it's just
I think that it sums him up exactly.
Explain everything to me like I'm 5. If that's your format, then I get it now.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah, but but that's just not. I don't know if it's generational, and like he's just kind of like slightly behind me or whatever. Once again, I don't know how to. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not trying to deny Theo Von's place in this world. It's just not for me, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah,
basically.
well, that's a reason why you lost millions of dollars in advertising revenue, because you turned all of your ad stuff over to Podcast One and got scammed.
That's just not wanting to do all of the work. You know, I mean, that's not his fault. That's like Bernie Madoff stealing Kevin Bacon's fucking money. You know, like that's not his fault. All right, in Swardson 11 here, it really did all work out though.
Did you wake up the next day and you were like, what? Because what happened after that? If the edible hit's probably pretty hard, huh?
No, it was the best because I went and did 2 sold out. So all my shows sold out after that. They were awesome.
Oh,
people can attest to that.
At that
They were
point,
great.
people want to come and also see if you're going to fuck up as well, I bet.
Yeah, so I did 2 shows in Aspen at the Belly Up, one of my favorite venues. People threw edibles at me on stage. I was on stage physically. I was covered in edibles on the stage. And then I did like 6 shows in Denver. It was like all awesome.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes are edible, Nick.
Yeah. No, Nick looked like he was wearing fleece pants in the Give It Away video. His legs are just covered in gummy bears and brownie pieces made of THC. In the clip 12 here, Swardson 12, it's just another day at the office for Nick.
So you went out right after that?
Oh, that was the start of my spring tour. So that was the initial show of like, that's how I kicked it off. And I was like, woke up and all of a sudden it was like 100 text messages and people are like, hey man, you're on CNN. It was like so dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Like, we're going to blow this out. Like TMZ called me. They're like, we want to comment. I'm like, for fucking what? I got too high in Colorado.
Yeah, Aaliyah started her last tour the same way.
So TMZ is like, we want to comment. Now, I like TMZ. It's essentially the format of our show, right? So nothing against them, but Nick doesn't fucking owe you anything. You know, it's like he's hoping this all just disappears. You know, of course, he is on Theo Von's show now, so people with terrible senses of humor are now talking about it again because that's the only people that listen to fucking Theo Von. But just shut it. But the idea that this was news, now I love it. You know, we're doing 2 shows on it. It's great. But the idea that it's on CNN is like preposterous. Yeah. Also, I think Theo is an interesting person, but his comedy is, we've been talking about it. Where does the responsibility lay? Who is culpable?
Nick.
I apologize. I'll do my own apology. I apologize to Beaver Creek. I love them very much. Very sweet.
Are they sweet though? If they got you all
I don't know.
up?
I don't know. Jury's still out on that. But they were nice enough to show up and then, you know,
Who gave you the edible? I don't want to snitch on anybody, but somebody did it. You
want the truth?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
No way.
I do like Theo's no way there. It's whatever improv and acting skills we've been shitting on them for the whole time. I do like that. Yeah, obviously he knew that was coming too, but
guys, we're being born.
So Theo. So Nick will apologize to the people affected. You don't have to apologize to the whole fucking world about nothing, you know. Also, you're in Colorado. You should have said Hunter S. Thompson jumped out of a bush with a 357 Magnum to my head and forced me to take drugs. Yeah. That's like the Colorado reference that you
Mr.
watched.
Garrison gave me
Yeah, make a South Park reference. Mr. Slave said he was going to fuck me in the ass unless I ate this edible. Okay, so this now segues into the whole Abraham Lincoln riff that I just couldn't get away from, really, for some reason. So this is clip 14.
Yeah. Well, he got so he freed all the slaves.
Dude, he freed my brain. How about that? He fucking unleashed the Kraken. That's why we pray.
Well, he should, and he unleashed the non-crackers as well. I know that. That's
sure. God, 100% did that.
This is so dumb that I'm starting to like it. It's like, well, Kraken sounds like cracker. You could just see like the synapses, the linkage of there, like on Theo's face, and I'm like, I can't not clip this.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, the unlubricated gears turning. It's like
cracker. Because really, what that was is like when he said he unleashed the Kraken, Theo thought he was going to say cracker, and then he just rolled right into it. So off to a good start, guys. What else? Clip 15.
There's nobody like him, dude. Imagine what it must have been like for everyone like him, right? If everybody was racist at the time, and he just rolls up and he's like, "Guys,
they were
crazy idea."
I'm gonna go to the opera. I don't need security.
No, I'm saying he's gonna release all the slaves.
Opera,
yeah.
But he had to pitch that to his buddies first.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You don't just surprise everybody, like say, "Hey, everybody, cover your eyes,"
right?
And then ta-da.
Yeah, Nick is like, "Oh, we're still doing this." Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's not funny.
Yeah,
but more. You want to stay on the slavery thing? Well, it's your show. I guess this is what we're doing now.
I guess you had to be there.
Yeah, just because they went to Ford's Theater doesn't mean he was seeing opera, Nick. Like you feel like Abraham Lincoln was attending an opera at Ford's Theater. Okay, whatever. So my last one to play us out. They mined some gold here.
So he was the original magician. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm just saying he pulled a lot of brothers out of a fucking pretty tough hat.
Yeah, he did. But that was a big top hat.
Yeah, it was.
Those are fucking hard black dicks.
You know, he kept his notes in that hat a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of that. He was very tall as well. How tall was he?
That's a valid question. How tall was his beard? I mean, his wife.
He was the tallest U.S. president.
So he can dunk, which brings it back to black people.
So Nick calls Lincoln gay by asking how tall Mary Todd was, aka his beard, which is funny to me. But after this, they like tangent into how Lincoln freed the slaves because no one could guard him on the basketball court. And so he had to free the slaves so his basketball pickup games could be more competitive. I find I didn't clip it all, obviously, but I did find
that's where that bit goes.
Yeah, that's where that goes.
To like a game of 2-on-2 with
Well, no, they just start saying like James Madison was a terrible point guard and shit like that. It gets dumb. That's why I didn't keep it. But I really did. I did like it. I like Nick. We all fuck up. Our failures are what make us interesting. You know, like. Nick Swardson went on stage and had a good set. Yeah, okay, that's the same thing that happens every day. Oh, he was dragged off stage because it was so bad. That's a story I want to hear about. So I'm glad he's happy to talk about it and provide the U.S. with provide. I'm glad he's happy to talk about it and provide us with a topic for our show, basically.
Right. And I fully accept that apology.
Please accept my apology. Please accept my apology, baby.
I totally accept that. And
you know, I'm glad. Hopefully,
I want to see Toilet Head when it comes out.
Yeah, nickswardson.net. Toilet Head. Yeah, that should be coming out soon. But Theo Vaughn's show. I'm not going to watch it. Not interested.
I guess it depends on who his guest is, right? Whether or not he's watchable. I wouldn't watch him unless I had a reason to.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair to Theo Vaughn or whatever, but there's just nothing. It does not attract my black on black attitude. You know, trying to figure out what the worst Skittle flavor is. I mean, or whatever he's fucking talking about is not of interest to me.
I guess I don't watch the show. I mean, if I see a clip and he's talking to somebody that I care about watching, I'll watch a clip, but I don't watch an hour long episode of that. It's not in my downloads. So
Ed, Theo Vaughn, your opinion.
Theo Vaughn.
Ed loves Theo Vaughn, I heard.
Boring.
This whole episode has been boring.
No. I mean, Nick is funny in certain things.
Grandma's Boy,
right? You know,
Reno 911.
Reno 911, exactly. I think he's got an interesting take on stuff, and he can be funny. I'm with you. I think Theo Vaughn is just boring.
Yeah.
There's
what I like about
edgy. There's nothing that like grabs you and makes you go, "Yay, it's Theo!" Like,
I always go back to Nick Swardson. Forever won my heart in his like half-hour Comedy Central special where he invites John Stamos to his funeral, and people are like, did Nick know John Stamos? Like, he's like making a rave, his dead body's hanging above the casket, and it's a rave or whatever. And he's picking up gallons of milk around his grandmother, and she's like astonished at how strong he is and shit. Those classic, and he's my age, so I don't know. Once again, like generational. Like, I don't get Theo Vaughn, but I give Nick Swardson every fucking. You know, I'm an Nick Swardson apologist, whatever.
Okay, well, again, part of that too, though, is that he's a little bit aggressive. He tries things. He does weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and you can respect that and you can like that. Whereas whenever, like, I don't even think about Theo Vaughn.
Right. Because Nick Swardson's at least starting a conversation. Yeah.
Right. And I feel the same way about Matt Rife. Like, oh yeah, it's funny. He's got a couple of clips on there where he talks to MILFs. Okay, that's cool.
I think about what a bad
whatever. Who cares?
Theo Vaughn is, where he pissed away millions of advertising revenue by being bad at business.
He's
just gonna keep throwing that in his face every day. Andy would go running across a crowded room to throw it in his face.
I'll never not bring that up, and I'll never not bring up Jeremy Piven saying the N-word in Scary Movie 3.
All right. Well, great show, boys.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's thank everybody for taking the time to. Oh God, I hate when I forget to bring up the Patreon. I want to shout out everybody.
I'll shout out Ray Guitard and Principle of Uncertainty and Kate and Ann and Dr. Steve.
My mom.
And what?
My mom.
My mommy and my sister.
Yeah. Thank you, SJ, and all of the people that I'll shout you out officially next time. But please, if you don't want to support the show financially, you can still join the Patreon for free. I actually did put out the Kia Boys episode to the free members a few days later. They get the exclusive release, but now they're going
to get how we fixed the Marvel universe.
Well, no. That was
free content.
That was a one-time thing. We do put out free content on there though for our free members. So if you want to join the Patreon for free, there is a reason to do that, and you can support the show for free by following us on Instagram, where you get all the heads up about what's going on with the show there. And
Andy,
you can always join the YouTube channel.
Not to fucking interrupt the very important part of the show, because I'm being serious. That is important. But I only thought about this now. What if fucking Quentin Tarantino did a Marvel movie?
Would you please stop?
Yeah. If you want to know what directors we think should fix the Marvel Cinematic Universe, please check out this week's paywall episode of All Apologies on Patreon. But you can also just rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. Please. It's the least you could do. It does help the show, and we need all the help we can get. So for Joe Sixpack, I'm Trucker Andy saying,
"Hey, sorry."